Okay, game 2 of my match against RecycleGarbage. They won the first one, so looking to get come back here. We've got Draw with Wayfarer. We've got Village with King's Court. We've got Trashing with Count. Improve. Banish can do some trashing. Victory points with Groundskeeper. Gains with Haggler. Certainly Haggler is nice with, King's Court. So you can gain a King's Court and a Wayfarer, for example. Guides may be nice just to make sure you can line stuff up. Save can be also quite nice. So one thing I'm thinking about doing, well, I've got the 4-3, which is the less exciting of the openings. If I had 3-4, I would strongly consider saving to buy a Count on turn 2. I don't seem to have an easy way to get an early Wayfarer or Count. Not that I'm seeing here. So that leads me to want to open like Silver Improve. If I had any other opening split, 3-4, 2-5, 5-2, I would probably try to open Count. So if I save the estate here, if I save like a copper here, I could banish 2 estates next turn. Then I only get to buy a 2 cost, which doesn't seem good. So Improve also doesn't seem great because there's no 4 costs at all. So I'm thinking about just opening Silver. Maybe Silver Banish. Is Banish for 1 estate worth it? It doesn't quite seem worth it. I want to be trashing multiple things with Count. Guess I'm going to open Silver, and see how that goes. The logic behind Banish would be I start my shuffle with copper, with silver, 7 coppers, 2 estates. So I've got 9 coins and 10 cards. So I'm guaranteed to hit basically 5 and 4. Could be 6 and 3. Now I'm regretting that. I hadn't worked out that logic before, what Banish does in that first shuffle. So that would give me a guaranteed 5 on turn. Turn 3 and 4. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's like inherently better. It gets a state out of my deck, but it also keeps a silver out of my deck. Yeah, they did go for the banish thing. I can believe it. I can believe it that it's good. I'm going to banish here 2 estates. I'm pretty happy about that. And I do hit my 5, which is nice. If I hadn't hit 5, I would be pretty upset with opening double silver. So we go into the second shuffle. I suspect they're going to get like Count Silver here themselves. We go into the second shuffle. My second shuffle was slightly delayed, but I end up with 1 extra card in exile if they get Count Silver here. So then it kind of depends on the next shuffle. So they're able to banish 1, get my Count. So now 6 is a slightly awkward price point. I think I am going to get the Artificer here. That feels like a good card for the deck. It's a little early for Groundskeepers and Hagglers. So they've exiled 2. They top deck the Artificer. They didn't get a Count. Okay, that's interesting. I was expecting them to have gotten a Count. So I'm going to be able to gain a copper here, trash 4. The Artificer is just kind of a peddler at this point of the game. You don't have big enough hand sizes to do fancy things. I can imagine later on you can somehow Artificer and gain nice cards. Maybe you could top deck Wayfarers, for example, and then save a King's Court, or top deck Wayfarer, because you can make Wayfarer cost less. It's hard to make Wayfarer cost. So we'll exile 3 coppers. That's quite nice. They didn't find an estate that turn. So I'm going to be able to get a King's Court here. I have this extra silver and the Count. We'll see if they have 1 copper, 3. If they find their silver and their artificer in the same turn, they can also get a King's Court. They did not. So I can count. I can just discard 2, get the coins, buy the King's Court. So now the question is, where do we go from here? I can top deck a silver and just trash my hand. I'm okay trashing a silver now that I've got King's Court stuff going. It's a little bit loose. But I also like having this extra count for some payload or for some trashing. Maybe the count was not as necessary as banish. It's not clear to me how reliable the lining up of the banish stuff is. Maybe it's pretty reliable. My goal is to get a second King's Court here. Actually, my goal should be to get a Haggler here. I'm not sure why I'm adding an extra syllable when I pronounce Haggler. That's my goal, is to add a Haggler here so I can add King's Court Artificer and start chaining those actions. At some point, Artificer for like a guide, and then Artificer for a Wayfarer. The Wayfarer will be quite nice. So they've exiled 3 coppers, and I've trashed 5 coppers and a silver. So I still have 3 coppers. They have 4 coppers. Is that right? The rest of their deck is silver and 4 coppers. The Herbalist for plus buy, huh? That feels a touch early to me. Oh, I see. They can then get Wayfarer. Okay, that makes sense. I can even play the Wayfarer. Wow. Yeah, that is nice. I can just copy exactly what they did. The bigger these decks, the harder it is to line up this stuff. If you don't have the King's Court and the Artificer in the same hand, it's tough. We'll see if they get a second King's Court, or if they go for the Haggler here. They do get the King's Court. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I can do the same thing. I get an Herbalist, and then I get a Wayfarer, and then I don't discard. I can play the Wayfarer, don't gain, play the Herbalist. Okay, so now I have 8 and 2 buys. Second buy doesn't seem to help me. So I guess you just kind of got to get the King's Court now and hope you line stuff up. Okay, so they didn't cleanly line stuff up, but neither did I. I'm getting a lot of silvers. They can save the Artificer now. I can top deck the Wayfarer. Probably just discard it though. Yeah, okay. So they got a banish of 4 coppers. Okay, so they're like completely clean now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to top deck the Wayfarer for +3 coins and buy a Haggler. Oh, I can save the Herbalist and buy a Haggler. Okay, the Artificer bottom decked. But the Artificer bottom decked, which is really sad. But I have the Wayfarer, so I can I can find it. Yes, they are going to be cleaner than me here. I have 3 coppers and a silver in my deck still. Oh, they have a couple silvers still. If I had one more copper in the previous hand, I could have considered trashing the count, but getting the Haggler seemed like a good play because I can add multiple payload cards at the same time. It does seem like it's going to be difficult to reliably line up the King's Courts once we add a bunch more components. They certainly need another Artificer here, and their hand size is not big enough. I mean, they could discard 5. They could also get a guide or something, but it's tough for them. What you really want to do somehow is have like a 10-card hand and an Artificer and gain a province or something, but that's pretty tough to do here. I assume they're going to play Wayfarer here and gain a bunch of silvers. And then play the Herbalist 3 times. And they do have a guide down, which is something I should do as well. If I'd gotten a guide last turn, I didn't really have a great chance to do it, I think. I could have gained a guide into Wayfarer. No, I don't think I had enough cards to do that. So you made at least one more King's Court and one more Artificer. And that's your buys. So I'm in a worse spot than them because I can't easily banish stuff. Okay, so I'll play the Artificer, and I do want to gain 3. Discard 3 coppers to gain a guide. And I'm not going to use Artificer again. Undo. Don't discard. Don't discard. Yeah, 3 Herbalist seems great. Play a guide. Play a Haggler. I think the plan is pretty much no matter what I do to call guide next turn. So I think I can safely top deck a copper. So how much money do I have? I've got 16. I've got 17 money here. So I can go King's Court, King's Court. So I can go like Wayfarer. So King's Court. So I can go Wayfarer, Herbalist, King's Court, Artificer, Artificer. And then try to pile next turn. If they don't pile this turn. Oh, I have way more points than this. Okay. So the problem with Wayfarer is if I gain... How does Wayfarer work with Haggler? It says the last cost of the last card gained. Okay, so Wayfarer. This is the part I'm not quite understanding. So if I buy King's Court, Wayfarer. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, good to know. I said we're being friendly here and sort of saying work it out, because the exact reading, what happens is you buy it, but you don't gain it until after the effect happens. So the Wayfarer doesn't trigger until after the card has been gained. Okay, so I want to gain 2 King's Courts at least. I want to gain 2 Artificers at least. So that's 14 money. And I want to gain a Wayfarer. Do I want to gain 2 Wayfarers? I'm 1 short of that, I think. So if I go Artificer, Wayfarer, King's Court, I could also go like Province, King's Court. Just get 1 province to make their life a little bit harder to pile. Although if they chain together a bunch of King's Courts on top of each other, they're certainly going to be able to pile stuff. Yeah, so I want to get one. I want to get another Haggler as well. So like Haggler, Wayfarer, King's Court, Artificer, King's Court, Artificer. And maybe I don't need the other Artificer. Maybe it's I want Haggler, Wayfarer, King's Court, Wayfarer, King's Court, Artificer. I'm mostly interested in lining up the King's Courts with the King's Courts. And the Haggler gives me payload, and it also gives me a bunch of extra gains that make piling out a lot easier for me. So Haggler, Wayfarer, King's Court, Artificer. Let me screw it up. Oh, no top deck. Okay, this is fine. I was planning on pitching this anyways. They did not start with double King's Court, which is unfortunate for them, but they did find 1 in an Artificer, so they're going to be able to King's Court their next King's Court and get a ton of stuff. They had to play that Wayfarer for draw, too. That's quite... maybe they didn't want to... Maybe they don't want to be King's Courting these things? What are they King's Courting now? Just... they're King's Courting Herbalists? Improves? Improve. Okay. So this I didn't notice till just now. Huge flaw. If you King's Court and improve, you can turn 3 improves into provinces. So one absolutely has to watch out for that. If I can gain and play 2 improves with my 4 King's Courts, I can gain 4 provinces and then buy however many other provinces I need and potentially win the game next turn. I have to find stuff in my next hand, of course. This does not seem to have been a great turn for them. I'm not sure what they were going for, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I'm not actually sure what they're trying to do. They didn't get Hagglers. Yeah. So we'll see what they get here. I unfortunately can't really plan out my next turn because I don't know what I'm going to have because the guide stuff. And I was planning on guiding. I'm glad I didn't see more than 1 King's Court here. I have 3 King's Courts and 2 Artificers down there, so I've got a pretty decent chance of finding stuff. The improve trick, though, is quite nice. They're really lowering piles, given that I have given I have 2 Hagglers. It's pretty easy for me to gain a ton of actions. But I guess it's also possible that I gain 7 provinces this turn, depending on my draw. And maybe my distribution is bimodal. I'm either gaining like 6 or 7 provinces or like complete dud. Groundskeeper, right? Call guide. Okay. All right, so here I just play King's Court on Artificer, I suppose. I don't want to discard. I don't want to discard yet. I think I have another. Oh, this is my Artificer. I need to. I only have 2 Artificers, right? No, I have 3. I have 1 Artificer I gained there. And I played. I only have 2 Artificers. Okay. All right, so now I King's Court the Wayfarer because I need to guarantee the draw. Okay, now I play the other Wayfarer. Don't gain. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I am just losing the game now. Man. I didn't find my other King's Court. I gained too many silvers. It's a freaking mess. What do I have down there? I have a King's Court down there. I have another Wayfarer down there as well. So I'm going to save a King's Court. And Province Wayfarer? Okay. Double King's Court at the top of the shuffle. Feel pretty good about this. Yeah, if I found either that other King's Court or Wayfarer, I was just never able to King's Court a King's Court, which they're doing here. It's not clear to me they have a super easy pile out here, given their deck consistency, but maybe I'm being optimistic about my chances. Okay, they're gaining a lot of stuff. They haven't gotten the improves yet. Until they get the improve, I sort of feel like I'm in the game. Once they pick up an improve and king it, then they just empty the provinces. And they have the cards here, so they need to go improve, gain improve, and the first one gain improve. And the second one, king improve, and then I can resign. Wait, what? What are they doing? They exiled from what? Do they have some other pile out that I'm not seeing here? Artificer pile out? Yeah, man, I thought I would be able to align last turn my I thought I'd be able to align my King's Courts. And in 15 cards I have 3 and I had a decent search space. They only have 1 herbalist. What are they gaining here? Okay, they have some other kind of pile out. I believe it. Yeah, if I was able to find my second King's Court and King's Court to King's Court, then I can King's Court the Improve, King's Court the Herbalist, King's Court the Haggler, and get like 6 provinces. They do, okay, they gained an Artificer with the King's Court stuff. So yeah, unexiling the coppers let them get a big hand size so that they could do exile artificer tricks. And now they have enough cards in hand that it should be fairly easy. Yeah, so if I have a better shuffle last turn, as I said, it was bimodal. I'm either almost complete dud, and my deck is thicker than theirs, so that's kind of expected. I think I still could have drawn better with Improve. I don't think they realized that Improve is a much faster way to end the game. But this looks to be game. They can just click End now and buy a province. All right. I'll let them finish it out. Small client lag because I had so many players in game. Good game to them. I'll see you in game 3.